I'm loving the pop off.
What's good? Welcome back to the Pop Off Podcast, a conversation show about beef and basketball. My name is Ralph Compiano. The year is 2024, and this year is fucking drunk. I am joined, as always, by my co-host Mike Cerroni, back for the first time in a minute, and Dante Bolla, former roommate of ours. And guys, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, we're in the heat of this beef. I'm not sure if we're at the tail end of it, the middle of it. I don't know where we're at in it. DB, you texted us in the group chat.
Right now.
You asked us straight up, you're like, how many tracks have been released in this beef?
Insane.
And it's like, I think we're up to 7 now, if you include Like That and the last 6 that we've had. Drake just responded a couple of hours ago. And the reason I say this year is drunk is because Drake sent the 6th or 7th shot, whatever it is, in the Kendrick and Drake beef, while the Tom Brady roast was on Netflix live, and Bill Belichick came out to roast Tom Brady. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm living in a simulation or something. This is just insane.
Yeah, welcome to my daily life. It's always a simulation.
This is just
this actually feels weirdly normal.
So, all right. So I want to start from the beginning. Okay. So I have a whole timeline of events here on Drake and Kendrick. But first, before we do that, are you guys on a side? Is there a side that you've taken in this beef? Let's start with you, Cerrone.
I think, I think Drake won. I think Drake's winning. I think, I don't know how we're about to walk through all the songs, but I think he said more. The songs are just simply better. Like, we talked about it before, but if you're going to make a diss track and it's also, why does the thumbs up come up when I thumbs up? If you're going to make back to back, was so insane because that was just a #1 hit for 6 months, and Meek Mill just had to, every time I turn on the radio, just getting dissed by it was unbelievable. So his songs are more catchy, and then I'm sure we'll get into it, but the fact that all of Kendrick's pretty much material, the fake daughter, the everything, was planted on purpose by Drake. You got finessed. He looks like a fool now. I don't know.
Before we get
take.
DB's thoughts, let me ask you this, because I don't know if we've ever even talked about Kendrick before.
Good take, though.
Are you a Kendrick fan, Cerrone? Is he a guy where you're like, I'm going to listen to Good Kid, Mad City, or Timp and Butterfly, or Damn, or Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers front to back? Is Kendrick? Because I know where Drake is. Drake's in your top 5. But do you like Kendrick Lamar? Do you like his music?
I like his old stuff a lot, Good Kid, Mad City. All his back then when rappers did mixtapes, his mixtapes, when we were in high school, Kendrick was all that. I loved it, but recently, no. I think he fell off a lot. Fair. Even Drake, even the thing that came out a couple hours ago, he's like, yeah, all your fans are hyped because I finally got some music out of you. You finally made a couple songs, which again is hilarious. That's, if you're Kendrick and you're hearing that, it's well, fuck. Damn was really good, but no, I don't love him. I don't love him as much as I love Drake's music.
Well, he also mentioned on this song, he's like, it makes sense that you're going into this beef with me right now because it seems like you're doing the rollout for an album, and what better way to get traction for your album than dissing the biggest rapper right now in the world. I'm not sure how legitimate that is. I'm not sure if Kendrick is releasing an album or not. I guess we'll find out.
I was just thinking the same
I hope that
thing.
he does, but if we get more music out of him. Dante, do you have a side that you're on right now? I mean, we've got OVO material on our backs and shirts and all that kind of stuff. But I know Kendrick has been a little bit more big for you than it has Cerrone, at least.
Definitely. No, I'm a huge Kendrick fan. I saw him in tour. He was incredible, live performer and just overall excellent music. In my opinion, I'm not taking any side. I know that kind of, I don't want to tread any side. However, I am very excited to see where this goes, because I think, to your point at the beginning of kind of when we were starting to talk here, is I think this is just the beginning of the beef. I don't think we've come to an end, maybe more so towards the middle, but I think they're going to keep on going with this. And I think also that this has to do with some sort of marketing scheme for somebody's project. I don't know whose project, but somebody's doing something. I was just talking about this, and I think that's 100% going on here. They're entertainers at the end of the day. This is it's just easy marketing.
When you saw him on tour, did he look so cute up there?
Dude. Bro,
his little
he was killing it up there. He was flying around.
His little 5'7".
Yeah, he has stage presence. It doesn't matter the size. It's heart over height. You know that better than anybody.
He was crushing it.
You just roast me?
No, but did you guys see the Instagram story I put up of Phil? I put up a fake Instagram story of Phil. I was like, this beef has me feel some type of
Connor.
way. No, but anyways,
is Connor going to take a stray right now?
I mean, I'm in a similar position to you, Dante, though, where like I'm trying to make myself an objective observer. Now, it's hard to not be biased when I have a 15-year relationship with Drake, parasocial relationship. I've been listening to him longer than I have Kendrick.
You know him?
12 years with Kendrick. That's why I said parasocial relationship. But I
use big words like that.
I said to our basketball coaches group chat, I said, this new Kendrick is the best diss that's dropped yet. And it was the one with DJ Mustard, Not Like Us. When that dropped yesterday or Saturday when people are listening to this, I said, this is the best diss track yet. And then they said to me, wow, your allegiances have changed. And I said, I still love Drake. I love him more than Kendrick, but I think Kendrick is winning the battle. I am an objective observer of the sport. So I'm trying to be a journalist here and use that practice more so than anything else. But I think all right, let's just go through the timeline. So I have the whole timeline of their relationship laid out here. In 2011, Kendrick is featured on Drake's Take Care with his Buried Alive interlude. Drake essentially gave him an entire track, said, do what you will with it. All right. And Kendrick ascended from there. I mean, I don't think there's an argument that being on the biggest rap album of the 2010s is going to hurt your case as an artist. Then in 2012, Drake invited Kendrick Lamar to be his opening act on his Club Paradise tour with A$AP Rocky. Later that year, we get Poetic Justice between Kendrick and Drake on Good Kid, Mad City. So again, now Drake is lending a feature to Kendrick on Good Kid, Mad City. Maybe make it a little bit more commercial. That was obviously one of the most celebrated albums of the 2010s, kind of like Take Care. Then they both featured on Fucking Problems with A$AP Rocky, who is also involved in this beef in one way or another.
Yeah, they all
then in 2013, about 8 to 10 months later after 2012, in 2013, Kendrick features on Big Sean's Control with Jay Electronica, and the rap world stops. Everybody, I mean, you guys probably remember where you were the first time that you heard Control, and you're like, holy shit, this guy is, it's like Anthony Edwards in the playoffs right now. He's coming for everybody. He's going through Kevin Durant and Booker and Beal. Now he's going for Jokic and Jamal Murray. And then next he's going to go for SGA or Kyrie and Luka, whoever the fuck it is. He's coming for next. 2 months after that, in between that, Drake said in an interview with, I think, Billboard, he said that Kendrick and him saw each other at the VMAs 5 days after Control dropped, and it was all love. It was just like friendly competition. He didn't take too much offense to it because he mentioned like 13 other rappers, Tyler Creator, Mac Miller, all these guys. He even mentions Big Sean on the song, and it's Big Sean's fucking song. 2 months after Control drops, Kendrick and the rest of TDE release a cypher on the BET Awards show. And I think that this is the most slept on little nugget of this whole thing, because that's like the one diss that I remember watching. I'm like, oh, rap nerds are really into this one, because he said, quote unquote, I tucked that sensitive rapper back into his pajama clothes. And he said nothing was the same ever since then. And I was just like, holy shit, Kendrick's a different beast. Everything is kind of passive for the next 10 years. There's subliminal disses thrown here and there. I mean, Kendrick Lamar's King Kunta, people are going back to that song and saying, I got a bone to pick. I better not see you corny-ass motherfuckers ever sit in my throne again. Sounds like he's talking about Drake there. October 2023, J. Cole mentions the big three on First Person Shooter off of Drake's For All the Dogs, which we did a preview for that album on the pod together, the three of us. A few months go by. It's March 2024, so 2 months ago now, a month and a half ago now. Kendrick appears on Metro and Future's Like That, and he says, motherfuck the big three. It's just Big Me. And he also makes allegations about dogs dying and things like that. A month later, April 19th, 2024, Drake finally responds with Push-Ups. And then a couple of days later after that, he releases Tailor Made Freestyle, which had AI impersonations of Tupac and Snoop Dogg, who are Kendrick's idols. So let's stop there. Let's pause. Let's rewind back to Push-Ups.
Wow.
Okay. That's where he's insulting the size of Kendrick's feet. He's insulting Metro Boomin, telling him to shut the fuck up and make some drums. He's going at Rick Ross. He's going at The Weeknd. He's going at A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, bro, fuck Rick Ross, dude.
Rick Ross, bro. Have you guys heard the Rick Ross rebuttal, bro? Oh,
I did.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All his
Champagne problems or
Instagram
whatever.
stories.
I love it.
Hey, white boy.
I
Oh, you
love
think
it.
that's funny? I mean, I love the videos of him laughing. I think they're hysterical.
Yeah.
But on this, Drake says, your first number one, I had to put it in your hands. I could never be nobody's number one fan. He's obviously addressing, I think, everybody with this. A$AP Rocky with Fucking Problems, Rick Ross with I'm On One and all those songs that they had early on. Kendrick, even with Poetic Justice to a certain degree, and of course Future, because I don't know if Future had ever gone number one without Drake before. So let's go back to that. Push-Ups is kind of the thing that sets everything off. Then, 11 days later, Kendrick Lamar releases Euphoria on April 30th. And then 3 days after that, releases 616 in LA. So he does the timestamp, the OJ glove, all these kinds of different connotations with that. Now, May 4th comes. 1 day later, and it turns out that Kendrick Lamar is addicted to dissing Drake because Drake responds with Family Matters, and most of these, there's like a few days, a few months, a few years in between the disses. Drake responds with Family Matters. He has a YouTube video up. 37 minutes later, an episode of Drake and Josh, Kendrick responds with Meet the Grams, and he is addressing every single one of the Grams. Dennis, Sandra, Adonis, Aubrey, all of them. He's going at all of them. He has a deer in front of every single one. 18 hours later, Kendrick drops again during the Nuggets and Timberwolves game that I'm so astutely watching, and I have to fucking pause on my YouTube TV with Not Like Us, which was produced by DJ Mustard, who just did Honestly Nevermind with Drake 2 years ago. He was the executive producer on that album. And then tonight, Drake responds again. I can't remember the name of the song off the top of my head. I don't know why. The Heart Part 6. So it's part of he robs Kendrick's The Heart series, and he finally responds. So let's go through it track by track.
That's savage, too.
Let's just do the ones that dropped most recently. Let's do Kendrick's side. We'll do 616 in LA and Meet the Grams. Drake's side, we'll do Family Matters. And we got Do Not Like Us by Kendrick, too. God, he's dropped so fucking many. He's at 5 now. And like all of them are 6 minutes long. Are you guys exhausted by this? Because I'm getting to the point where it's like, I wanted this, but I feel oversaturated.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and like
what's going
there's
on?
a lot that like to just normal people that we just don't know like what they're saying. Like just mentioning names and events and things, and also we have no idea if it's true. Like Kendrick getting molested, fucking, Drake's, daughter, or Drake being a pedophile. Like no one knows if it's true or not. So it's like, well, I'm listening to this, but like, I don't know if there can be a winner because just no one knows what's fucking real and what's not. And
which angle do you want to tackle first? Do you want to tackle Drake's a pedophile, Kendrick beats his wife, Drake has a daughter? I mean, which one of the angles do you want to do?
I think it's also funny. I think the only true thing is and also so the suitcase that they stole with the
Dennis
gloves,
Graves.
that was on purpose. He put the Maybach glove in there to roast Ross. He put the Ozempic to roast Ross because he's fat. And then the receipt for the ring, and then they put like a size small kid shirt.
Yep.
To roast Kendrick for. Yeah, and then Kendrick's dumbass makes it the album cover because he thinks he's this shit because he stole it from him, but really he just got played again because all of it just got more pushed out. And then the fake daughter thing, fucking, and then also there's, I guess this guy, what's his name, Dave Free. Hooked up with Kendrick's wife, and like one of their kids is his, and like I looked at all like the pictures, and he's commenting on like her posts, like hearts and likes, and doesn't look good for Kendrick. I don't know if they have to do a DNA test or Dr. Phil or not Dr. Phil, Family Feud. Or not Family Feud, whatever what's the fucking
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer. Jesus Christ. That's enough. That's enough for my take.
All right, so let's do that. All right, so Dave Free, he's one of the creative directors at PG Lang, and PG Lang is Kendrick's new label with Baby Keem. Ever since he detached himself from TDE, he started this new thing. Dave Free is just really creative. He's like kind of behind the scenes, helping them market and orchestrate and brand deals, all this kind of stuff. And then I think he directed music videos before, stuff like that. If he actually impregnated Whitney, Kendrick's wife, and Drake is leaking that, then I think that's like the most, because we're talking about the evidence here. There has to be some kind of receipts to these disses because we're talking about the pop-off pod chat. He's like, how is any of this like entertaining to you guys when we don't know if any of it's real? There's an argument that I've been seeing on Twitter that it might not even, some people are saying it might not matter what's real and what isn't. People are just saying that, all right, so I saw a video on Instagram earlier of a DJ at a party in LA. It was like a house party, and there's probably like 250 people there or something like that. And he starts playing Family Matters, and everybody starts booing him. And I don't know about you guys. I've never been in an environment where somebody plays a Drake song and people start booing.
No.
Now, this is in California where this is happening, so I think the West Side's probably going to resonate with Kendrick more, and they're more eager to like demolish Drake. But it feels like there's this jealousy that's kind of sitting over this whole situation, where it does feel like some people are like, I'm tired of Drake. I'm fatigued by Drake. We're exhausted by him. We
Yeah,
want
he
real
got too
rap
big.
back or whatever the fuck. He got too big. And what happens when people get too big? We start to discredit them. It happened with LeBron. It happens with Patrick Mahomes. We just watched the roast of Tom Brady. Like, these things happen when you get too big. And it feels like Kendrick is David versus Drake's Goliath. So I think that's like my biggest takeaway from this whole thing. It's like, wow, people just want to see Drake lose because he's the top dog, for lack of a better term.
Couldn't agree more with that, Ralph. I think that's a super great take because at the end of the day, it's like they're both just excellent artists and excellent rappers. But I think, too, Kendrick does kind of have it on his side that you touched on it. Like, he doesn't really drop music like that. And people could just be kind of tired of Drake and, they're kind of just hearing him over and over and over again. And he's always, it's for good reason. Like, he's an excellent artist, but Kendrick has more mystique to him, I'd say. And I think now that he's popping out so much and just kind of drilling Drake with back-to-back shots, like 37 minutes. I did not know that. Like, that timestamp, Ralph, that's electric. Like, the fact that he dropped something 37 minutes after, that's nuts. That's nuts. Seriously. And it just shows that he's like not playing around. And at the end of the day, too, I think it does show there's got to be a larger picture here that's going on when it comes to why they're beefing and why there's so much shit going on. I think there's going to be some sort of project or something coming soon. I really do think that.
No. What if it's all just fucking, it doesn't seem fake, but there's definitely the possibility of them.
Well, I mean, remember the Drake and Kanye beef?
Yeah.
And then they did a fucking huge show. They did one of like the gnarliest shows of all time.
Yeah.
Like those two and in Cali. And then, yeah, like it's just that was something that just ended after so long, you know what I mean? And then that was chill. And it's probably going to be the same fucking thing here. We're going to see a Kendrick and Drake show.
Throats, though. Talking about each other's families.
Yeah, the Kanye and Drake beef never evolved to this. Like, this is
I agree with that,
explicit shots, like 7 or 8 songs we're at now. And Kanye tried to get in on it, too. He went on that guy's podcast and was like, I'm going to release the Like That feature right now. And he said he took more of a shot at J. Cole. He's like, I can't even think of a Drake line, but if you play J. Cole, you can get the pussy dry. And I was like, okay, dude, wow. All right. I mean, this is just crazy. Kanye coming in out of nowhere. He also made an Instagram post where he said, fuck everybody. He's like, he made an Instagram post. He's like, I washed Kendrick on No More Parties in LA, and everybody knows it. It's like, whose side are you on? You're just kind of coming in from the top ropes.
Kanye's on Kanye's side.
Yeah, facts. Like,
okay, so I think we have to go down the pedophile alley, which is crazy that we have to say that. I don't think Drake's a pedophile. I think Drake can get any woman in the world that he wants, and he probably has gotten every woman in the world he wants. Good for him. All right. But then he goes at Kendrick on this most recent one, The Heart Part 6, and he said the mother eye, when he was talking to Sandra. And there's a song on Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers called Mother Eye Sober, where Drake thought, I think Drake thought at least, that Kendrick was molested. And that is not what Kendrick said on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers when you actually go through and dig. So let me find it really quick.
Also, I'd like to say I enjoyed that album. It was very different. Yeah, it was very different, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was excellent. It wasn't like it's not like a radio album by any means, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. I knew that was coming.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of it either. It's definitely my least favorite out of the Kendrick project, but
me too.
Okay, so
for sure.
Drake said, mother eye. Ah, wait a second. That's that one record where you say you got molested. Ah, fuck me. I just made the whole connection. This is about to get so depressing. This is trauma from your own confessions. This is when your father leave you home alone with no protection. So neglected. That's why these pedophile raps is shit you so obsessed with. It's so excessive. All right. Now, these are Kendrick's exact words from Mr. Morale. He said, family ties. They accused my cousin. Quote, in quotes, the family's asking him, did he touch you, Kendrick? Kendrick's responding this time. Now he says, never lied, but no one believed me when I said he didn't. So this quote implies that Kendrick makes it pretty explicitly clear in the song that he wasn't molested. So that you could consider that being kind of not investigating on Drake's part, but kind of lazy interpolation or interpretation of
but
lyrics.
you don't think like maybe like what I mean, they're on tour together. Like one drunk night, they were just in a tour, but this is stuff. No.
Wait, Mikey,
wait till I'm about. Can you fucking let me finish my take? They're both drunk on the tour bus, having fun. They're all, they're friends. You don't think he might have admitted
more than friends?
Like some shit comes up, like, yo, my uncle molested me, and that's some shit that only him Drake knew.
I don't know if
this
that's
is terrible that we're laughing about
up.
this. But Kendrick is not pulling Drake aside from the party on the tour bus.
But like when you're fucked up, but dude. Well,
I know
when you're fucked up with your boys, stuff comes out.
Yeah,
stuff comes out.
That's fair.
Like you're feeling comfortable. You're
definitely
feeling,
gonna happen.
But not that.
Yeah,
that doesn't come out. Not that. Other things might come out. Like
I don't know.
Like,
you never know.
Did you know that Metro Boomin, like his girlfriend got fucked by his best friend? That might come out, but I don't think
maybe.
I was molested at the age of 13. Would you believe me or anything like that?
Well, oh my god,
you sounded like old Greg right there, Ralph.
Oh, Greg. It's terrible that we're laughing about all this stuff, but it is kind of funny at the end of the day. Like we said it with Turner and Berg a few weeks ago. Like, the person who's going to win this beef is the one who's the funniest. That's who I think is actually going to win.
Agreed.
This. And that's why I thought the DJ Mustard Kendrick one, not like us. That's why that was my favorite, because he's just honestly like he's just mocking him at some point where he just goes, everybody say OV ho, OV ho, and it's just like, oh, you wanted a dance record? Here's a stupid ass dance record that I'm not even trying on because I'm so effortlessly good with my pen. And it's like, all right, we get it, man. You hate Drake, you're addicted to dissing him, but like. If the receipts aren't real, then I think it gives Drake like, all right.
Drake seems very pungent on saying, even the end of this last one, he seems very like concerned about everything you're saying is not real. Like you're saying all this shit with no paperwork, with no receipts, like, which I don't know if it matters. It doesn't matter, but he seems very stuck on. Once again, he's mentioning there's no paperwork of proof of any of this. Which
all right, so
I don't know how to take. I don't have fucking paperwork of it. That's I like that
you mentioned the outro for Drake though, because he says, "I'm not gonna lie, this shit was some good exercise. Like it's good to get out, get the pen working. You would be a worthy competitor if I was really a predator and you weren't fucking lying to every blogger and editor. But it is what it is. You definitely got this shit burnt the fuck out, though. Like, you got 10 more records to drop. The one before the last one, we finessed you into telling a story that doesn't even exist. And then you go and drop the West Coast one to try and cover that up. I would like that one. That would be some shit I would dance to if you wasn't trifling down on some whole other bullshit. But, at least your fans are getting some raps out of you. I'm happy I can motivate you, bring you back to the game. Just let me know when we're getting to the facts, because everything in my shit is facts. I'm waiting on you to return the favor."
Hard.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and all the pedophile stuff is. I don't know if that is provable. It's also Hollywood. Like, I mean, everybody's probably fucked a 17-year-old. Every famous person's probably fucked a 17-year-old. Like, let's be honest here. I mean, especially the Usher, the P. Diddy stuff. Fucking everything, the whole fucking universe blew up the past like 2 months. So,
well, and there's a certain degree to like Kendrick kind of being. I mean, I'm not accusing Kendrick of anything here, but he said to Spotify and Apple Music, he's like, if you're gonna take down R. Kelly's discography, then I want you to remove mine too. So he's defending like a certain pedophile. Like we know that R. Kelly was doing weird shit to kids, and that's just like that's odd. And then he's talking about
he said that
Drake. That is weird, right? And they haven't really, and Drake addressed that a little bit. He talked about the R. Kelly thing on this most recent one. But then he's also, Drake's going back and he's accusing Kendrick of, beating up his wife. And Kodak Black, who, we like Kodak's music. Like we generate.
Kodak,
love Kodak.
Kodak's the man, bro. He was just at the Suns game the other week.
I'm not sure he's the man, because he's gotten quite a bit of trouble for those kind of domestic assaults. So it's like,
for sure,
he's accusing Drake of being a woman hater and somebody that like because of the Megan Thee Stallion thing and all these kinds of things. But it's like it's kind of hypocritical because you had Kendrick or
Megan Thee
Kodak
Stallion.
on 3 songs.
Wasn't that Tory Lanez?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
got
but Drake's
that boy
beefing with her
thrown
too
in jail
because
for years, bro.
Oh,
yeah,
I say Tory Lanez shot her or something.
yeah,
It's been a while, man. Rappers are just wild. Just
it really is.
a wild
So
group of guys.
can there be a winner out of this?
Are you
thing?
ready,
Like,
Dante?
is the only
You're gonna be in this world one day, Dante. you better start hitting up 17-year-olds, or you're not gonna fit in.
Dante's trying to stay in the Mike Stud lane. He's trying to be like very passive, or maybe he's J. Cole
bro.
here.
Yeah, we just
Like,
chilling, bro. We're carving
Because J.
our
Cole,
own
like
path to our own
I
little
think that's
mountains.
the winner here, right? Like it has to be J.
for
Cole
sure,
because he's like
for sure.
he stepped out of this whole thing and he said to the entire world basically, he's like, you thought I was a pussy for backing out? Well, now I look like a genius because I know these 2 dudes.
Yeah, but you
guys
that's
don't.
not.
Yeah,
That's
facts.
That's a coward move.
I think
though.
it's
That's,
smart. I mean, you could keep involving in it, but like if you want to keep going for whatever reason it is, then keep ripping. But like
You
I
can't
think
say you're a genius for. Did he say that?
I mean,
No.
it keeps
He
his
hasn't
peace
said
of mind
anything.
clear.
That's been his whole
peace of
thing.
mind
He's
clear.
Oh, okay. Other
been
people can
essentially
say that.
mute.
If he comes out and says that, that's a coward move. Like I was a genius for staying
I
on. It's like
think-
a man.
No.
It's like a man in the arena thing. Like you
Yeah.
can't. You know,
That's
you
fair.
can't. It's only the critic that counts. Like you not. And you got to feel for. Yeah, Drake is Kendrick's the underdog, so Drake's gonna get. You know, just everybody likes the underdog. Which is why I also don't like how Rick Ross is trying to roast him. There's other people trying to roast him. It's like, wow, this guy's really taking on everybody. Like this is
But
like
I don't
just kind
think
of
that-
insane. Like Future.
I don't think Kendrick's fans think he's the underdog. I think we think he's the underdog if we're objective observers. But Kendrick's fans are like, he's the last guardian of real hip hop. Like he's keeping the West Coast alive and all this fucking
Yeah.
bullshit.
That's just
For
not. It's
sure,
like, no, it's not
for
true.
Okay,
though.
so yeah,
Everybody
I
knows
know,
it's not
I know
true.
people like that though. I know what you're saying, Ralph, and that's facts.
It's the
That's
goddamn
What was
English
Kendrick's
major.
Yeah,
last
it's facts.
project?
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Yeah, Mr. Morale.
I mean, that just speaks for itself. I don't even know what that is.
I mean, that
and
happens though. That happens. What was Rihanna's last project?
Anti in 2016.
Precisely.
Oh.
That was 8 years ago. But like Rihanna's
But
more
that was-
prevalent
and that was-
than ever, and she's a billionaire. And I know that's
because
also
Anti
other
was a
shit.
banger.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I mean, Drake has been him for a while. I don't think Kendrick
No, I couldn't agree
is
more.
keeping anything alive on the West Coast. Maybe some weed plants, but definitely not the rap game.
Okay, I don't want to go down the we're just insulting Kendrick road here. I mean,
Yeah,
because like
and he's definitely okay. So like him
Saying.
and him. No, you have valid points for sure, 100%. And I agree.
Drake
I agree, but there is a difference between like the style of hip hop that they're both creating. Like they are both creating rap and they're both creating
like
hip
good
hop.
hip hop and bad hip hop.
No, and that's
No, I'm
all
kidding.
subjective.
I know, I'm
That's
kidding. It's a
subjective.
joke.
Of course,
It's a
I
joke.
know. But
it's
that's all
pre-Kanye
subjective.
hip hop and it's post-Kanye hip hop. That's how I
Yeah.
think of it. I said
Yeah,
that in the
for
chat
sure.
the other day.
For sure.
It's
Very
like
true.
Kendrick keeps alive, the 2001 Dr. Dre era, the
Yeah.
Doggy Style
Does
era.
he though?
I think he
Does he
does. Like, and
He
he's
still
also
does a
been,
good job. He's got
But,
you
like-
entertained on a podcast right now, so he's doing something right.
Because of Drake. Drake touched it.
I mean, if you don't
That's
like
fair.
Damn, like that's a Pulitzer Prize winning album. And
No,
Damn
that's
is
a
like
great- yeah.
his most commercially available. Like that's he made Humble, he made Element, he made these songs. And he's like, I can do this if I
You
need
know
to.
why?
I just don't.
Because it was good.
It was
Good is
amazing.
good. Quality always bleeds through. You can
That's
make
true.
an album like that and it be shit, and that's Morales or whatever that was.
No, that
Mhm.
album is good. I just don't love that album because it's not for me. It's like,
Is it though?
yes, it's definitely a good
It's-
album. Yes, if you listen
it's
to that album front to back, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this guy's still a genius, and he can. But it's not like,
It's not good.
so.
the word you're looking for is good.
That's not the word I'm looking for because it's definitely good. It's just not mine. Like I feel a connection to Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly because those came out when I was in high school, and like I was like, holy shit, I've never heard anything quite like this. From like this honest, this sincere. Like I love Drake more than anything in the world, but he's just never made us sing about me. I'm dying of thirst. Like that song is going to like. I hope if like. Gravestones become like decorated enough and technologically advanced enough that song can play on my gravestone when people walk by it. Like
We'll
it's
make
such
that.
a
a great-
beautiful,
it's a great
brilliant
That's
song.
idea.
a great idea.
That's
to
an
have.
excellent idea.
Yeah,
Thank you.
gravestones haven't been that innovative in the last 3 million years, if you think about it. That's actually a
honestly,
great
Ralph,
little.
that's like you're onto
Yeah,
something there.
Thank
That
you.
you might
might
want
be
to
a
cut that and
yeah,
patent it real
yeah.
quick.
I think you should cut
I
that
will
because
copyright
that's
that. I've been looking at
yeah,
LLCs for the pod. We'll put that on there.
yeah.
Um,
That needs to be
so anyway,
trademarked.
but like, all right. So Drake's never made that. He's never made "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst." But then again, you can say the same thing. Like Kendrick's never made, I don't know, God's Plan. I guess Humble's kind of like God's Plan, but it's not quite there. It's not like Nice for What. It's not like global banger, like or Hotline Bling or One Dance. Like Drake
Yeah,
has
and
that alley down.
yeah,
For sure.
it's
It's
there.
more pop. It's more
Yes.
pop. It's more commercially marketable music, and that's why
It's
it's
also
going
just
to
better though. Like
that's
it's
why
more.
it is in like number one for better and worse is perspective. Like that's total. But I hear you when it comes to like a marketing thing, and when it comes to something that a broader audience can relate to. Yes, like 100%. And Drake is the king of that, which is why he is who he is and he's where he is. But like when it comes to like the type of music, it's just they're making different types of music. Like J. Cole makes different music than, Drake and Kendrick, and Kanye makes different music. Like they're all in the same highway, not all in the same lane, and they're not all going the same places and shit like that.
I
For real.
think Drake has like the pen that's like middle of the ocean, the timestamp location songs. Like he can do bars
Yeah.
for bars.
Yeah,
like right?
Bars.
Like Kendrick's
Bars.
at like all right, so there's like this conception like as somebody who studied English for 4 years, I can see it there were classes that were taken on Kendrick Lamar. Like you can study Kendrick Lamar for an entire semester and dive into like the literature of like one
Pretty
album.
short
that
classes,
exists.
huh? But those were like a couple weeks long.
I don't know if you can you could do a different class for Drake that wouldn't be in the English department. It would be in the communications department about like how marketable Views is, like front to back, like the seasons changing and stuff like that. Now, I think where Drake might have like gotten like one of the best punches for me was I can do it by myself. I can make God's Plan and it can play on the radio and everybody and their mom can fucking hear it. You have to go to Maroon 5. You have to go to Taylor Swift because your label told you to because you need a commercially
I love
successful
both those
song.
songs. By the way,
We know you do, Mikey. We know.
it's fucking awesome.
And
Yeah,
one
great
other
songs.
thing on this is somebody had a really fucking Twitter's been on fire like the last few days just from this fucking beef.
Dude.
But one of the
Every
best
time
ones
I
was
go on
like
Twitter, it's just porn. And I get off.
not right
Twitter.
now. If you go on right now, it's just gonna be
Not
Drake
right
and Kendrick. That's it. You could just go to my profile, like a couple tweets, your algorithm will change. But somebody said the reason that Future took a back step on this is because Kendrick and Drake were having an argument about who's the worst dad. And somebody's like, that's why Future stepped out of this whole beef. Because like, he's like, they make me look like saints.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
You pick your battles. You pick your battles.
Yeah, that's
Love
smart.
Future.
See,
Love
next
Future.
level.
Yeah.
Time out. Coach, sub me out.
But that's the other
water.
thing. It's like they're arguing about who's the better dad. It's like you guys are so old. Like you guys are 37 and 36 years old. Like you guys are fucking old.
And I feel like Drake's
that's funny.
Drake's always
That's
posting
so
about
true.
his. I guess it doesn't matter if you post about your kid, but I feel like.
He gave him a music video.
No, because Kendrick. Kendrick was rapping like. He's rapping like you pull like on Meet the Grams, like Adonis, you poor thing, this, that, like, wish you had someone to raise you right.
Yep.
I don't know if he's definitely not living a bad life in the OVO mansion. I'll tell you that. He's not living.
Well, and Kendrick said, or no, Drake said to Kendrick, he's like, I mean, I don't know what intel he has on him, but he said, you have that apartment in New York, you're living this bachelor life, and he said you haven't seen your kids in 6 months. So that's suggesting that Kendrick and Whitney are separated right now, and that Whitney has custody.
And
of
it
the
might
kids,
not
and
even
Kendrick
be
is
his kid.
It could be
Dave Freeze.
Yeah.
Honestly, a big winner out of this
Dave
whole thing. Dave Freeze getting some followers. I'll tell you that. I checked his account when it dropped. It was at 109K. When we started this pod, it was at like 100. Yeah. So big winner, Dave Freeze, and he's got a kid to raise now as well.
Congrats, Dave Freeze.
I wonder. I mean, imagine that conversation right now between Dave Free and Kendrick. Like, you think they're talking like, yo, like, is there something we need to chat about? Like, I don't know, man. It's ugly when stuff like that comes. Like, I don't even know. Like, how do you think they're talking?
I mean, the thing is, only all the people involved are going to know the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the public is not something for us to know. It's something for us to, like, just keep guessing about and keep being entertained by. Literally, make podcasts about it. You know what I mean? It's just like we're making the popcorn and we're just watching the movie. Like, and we're not going to know all the ins and outs of it. And it is what it is. But
and he made it, like, the whole video. Because, and also them squishing the Good Kid, Mad City car, that was kind of, I mean, that was funny. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I was like, they're squishing the car. Like,
no, that's hilarious. That's funny.
And then the second music video, yeah, the one that Drake just dropped, the whole video is just that Dave Free comment under his girl's post.
That's cover art. Yep.
So it's just like, it's pretty crazy. A lot of personal shit's getting aired out.
Is there
wild
more?
to just sit back and watch?
Like, what else could they have on each other?
I think there's. I think plenty.
Do you think it'll just because also the way Drake ended this one,
horrible.
Oh, they're probably awful.
The worst guy. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, bro, if we were all billionaires, we'd probably be awful people too. It just happens. You're just set up in situations, or not awful people, but that fucking. What was it?
So he's like, Epstein had a point. You know, he was so bored. Epstein was like, why not make an island?
Oh my god.
Epstein did not have a point.
Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Like, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I forget what the fuck. Oh yeah, so the way Drake ended his last one, it seemed like he was kind of ending it. Like he was like, all right, enough's enough. Like, you know, like, but I don't know. Yep. I feel like even by the end of this podcast that we might go on our phone and Kendrick might, because like you said, it was 37 minutes last time.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God, we're at 36:52. That's so weird. That's it probably is going to drop right now for the podcast time. Kendrick's honestly slacking. It should be up by now.
Yeah. I don't
know what's taking him so long.
So, all right, I'm trying to think of like the winners and losers here, because I feel like we are winners in the moment right now as the audience. Mm-hmm. But I think like the relationships that are the bridges that are being
knocking doors tomorrow.
The bridges that are being burned
continue
like throughout this whole process. I feel like we're losers in that regard, because like now are we ever going to get another song between Drake and Metro Boomin? Because they have some great collabs together. Drake and Future. Obviously no more Drake and Kendrick. They're never collaborating again. J. Cole and Kendrick.
Yes.
Drake and J. Cole. Do they make more music together? Like, I feel like there's just like this. We're going to move into a new era where we're going to see a lot less collaboration because people are going to use it to burn each other in the future. And
I think this is where MGK makes a big move into the rap game. This could be the door's wide open.
Dude, that last album was excellent. The EP, him and Trippie.
It is growing on me. It's
vibes, man.
This is where Dante Bolla. There's a hole. There's a hole in the rap game, and it's looking to be filled.
Thank you.
You got to pick a side.
I appreciate it. You get it. Make the lane. Make the lane.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's a complete winner, complete loser. Maybe Kendrick's wife. I mean, she's not in the winning column. Maybe fucking Drake's. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe Drake is a pedophile. Maybe, but like, it's kind of, I don't know. Like, if you're gonna go after someone I mean, Drake gets so much ass. And to go after him for the pedophile thing's kind of beat, like...
I just don't think it's true. I just don't think it's true. I find it hard to believe that it'd ever be true.
I think Kendrick had better bars. Drake had catchier. I was telling you this, but like I was listening this whole week, I would bump push-ups just because it's like a banger to me. Like it's fun to sing along and rap. I didn't bump Euphoria to like bump and sing along. I don't know, stats wise, what has like, more plays. I did notice that Spotify on Rap Caviar always has, and now it's Rap Caviar. I don't know. You guys know what Rap Cav, like the playlist?
Yeah.
That's like like the holy grail of like rap playlists. And it's very important who's the first song on that playlist. And they do have Euphoria over Push-Ups this whole week, which seems like they were kind of taking sides with Kendrick too.
Interesting.
But yeah, when you're at the top, everybody wants to tear you down. It just,
I think that's because it's a little bit newer. That probably doesn't hurt. But kind of similar to the Rap Caviar point, when you look at Genius, the lyric breakdown website, you go to the charts and see who's viewing what songs and reading the lyrics on them. And then all right. So the top 11, you ready? Number 1, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. Number 2, Meet the Grams. Number 3, Family Matters. 4, The Heart Part 6. 5, Euphoria. 6, 16 in LA. 7, Push Ups. 8, Like That. 9, Taylor Made Freestyle. 10, Mother I Sober by Kendrick, which we just mentioned. 11, The Story of Adidon, the Pusha T diss towards Drake. And then number 12, Sabrina Carpenter song. Number 3, BBL Drizzy, Metro Boomin's 14, Fortnite by Taylor Swift. 15, Mockingbird by Eminem. So it's just like a great way to like see like what's popping, what's banging right
always
now.
there, bro.
Eminem
never leaves,
always.
bro. Never leaves, bro. Never leave, dude. It's insane, dude.
What the fuck is Mockingbird doing up there of all songs? So that's wild,
bro. It just never leaves, dude.
Such a jam.
That is a jam. It's funny. I was thinking about that song the other fucking day. No joke. I was like singing it to myself in the shower. I haven't heard it in forever, and I was like,
I'll dabble with old Eminem all the time, bro.
That's trippy.
Right. Once we start talking about old Eminem, that's
moving
when you know
forward.
This portion of the pod. All
Yeah.
right, Dante, you just dropped a song, Lord of the Fly. Before we get out of here, you want to talk to the people about what you're doing right now?
Definitely. I'm just working on new music and working on pushing it out and marketing it properly. And if you want to give it a listen, give the content a follow, come along the journey with us, you can get me at Dante Bolla, which is DanteBolla across all platforms. We are out here jugging and we are on the move. And it's a good day.
Yes, sir.
Damn
yes,
right.
Sir.
Come on.
Great fucking song.
Have a
I'm
day.
looking forward to more music
Thank
from
you.
you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Dropping music every 2 weeks. Moving forward here on out. So we're just letting it fly.
Got some fire in the on the hard drive.
That was just a little taste.
We get to
a
see
little
it
taste.
a little early. And,
yeah.
It's I can't wait.
Dude, the Kendrick feature on the second one is going to be insane. I can't wait to hear that. But he's going to occupy your whole song with the Drake diss, and it's going to be 6.5 minutes.
Be careful when you pick sides.
I know. I'm having hesitancies with that now.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, coming back to the basketball portion of the pod, the NBA Round 2 is officially here, the conference semifinals, and they kicked off Saturday night with a goddamn banger of a game. The Nuggets and the Timberwolves, Minnesota, in Denver, stealing game 1 on Denver's home court. And we've been talking about him for, a few months, a couple of years now. Anthony Edwards was remarkable. He had 43 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists in 42 minutes of gameplay. Was 17 of 29 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3. He made the first shot of the game, which was a stare-down 3 in the left corner in KCP's goddamn eyes. And then he had the last basket of the game when he went coast to coast on these motherfuckers when they were trying to foul him. I have been hearing this a lot recently amongst media personalities, specifically Reggie Miller on the broadcast and Stephen A. Smith on the pregame show. And I hate it. I hate the term best two-way player in the league. I can't stand it. I'm so tired of this term two-way player. The last I checked, Cerroni, it's a two-way sport. You have to play offense and you have to play defense. We don't sub in and out. This isn't Travis Hunter on Colorado playing wide receiver and corner and making it special. This is guys that play on both ends of the court the whole game. So I wish they could hear this. I wish I could say it to them directly. We're not big enough, unfortunately, for them to hear it yet. But you motherfuckers are soft for seeing best two-way player in the league. They reserved that for Kawhi for the longest time to make him feel special. Just say he's a top 4, top 5 player in the league because that's what he's playing like right now. And on Saturday night, he wasn't the best player he was the best player in the world. He was better than Jokic that game. And we can say that. In game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, he was better than the best player in the world.
I'll say this, man. If I'm about to draft a team, and again, we've been talking about this for a while. The only guy that just it could be playoffs, could not be playoffs. Every possession, every game, 100%. Dude, if I'm drafting a team right now, there's not too many people, if any, I would take over Anthony Edwards. The guy is unfucking believable. I don't know. Lyndon's coming in. I thought you were about to give it a hot take, but or you might have to. We have to sub you in. Dude, he's next up. The wave of LeBron, Curry, Durant, it's over. It's not his league now, but am I surprised that the T-Wolves won Stolgate? No. Am I surprised that he fucking scored the first basket and the last basket and hit the dagger to put him up like I think 11 when there was like a minute 9 seconds left? No. Um, I don't know what this kid's made of, but it's fucking gold. It's like magic watching him
I
fucking
mean,
play. It's insane.
his 100% is different than other people's 100% though. Like I think people can give 100%. Like I could go out there and give my all 100%, and it's just not going to be equal to his. Like he just cares more. Like he's just more competitive. Like he's literally built different. I hate that saying, but he is. Like there's if there's rumors flying around about your estranged
It's like seeing
dad potentially
Kobe.
being Michael Jordan, like that's an actual rumor that's going around. It was that Michael Jordan, when he was on the Wizards, was sleeping around a bunch, and he might have slept with a woman from Atlanta, and he might be Anthony Edwards' dad. And it's like if people
They
are
said that
starting
about
those
Jimmy
rumors about
Butler,
you,
though.
yeah,
Yeah,
but the
you know
same
what's
kind of
funny?
guy,
I
right?
saw
Like
that. Yeah, just dog, just an absolute dog. It's like, yeah, like and I was gonna say Kobe, to where when he steps on the court, there's like a killer, like Kobe turned into fucking Mamba. I don't know what his fucking other identity is, but like, yeah, dude, it's a killer fucking. He's not out there for the paycheck. He's not out there for the fucking the glitz, the glamour. Like he's out there to fucking win and get a ring. And yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm not even surprised. Like it's. This could be their year. It's insane. And Denver
well,
is not an easy feat to win game one away.
the Kobe thing is interesting because yes, I agree with like that killer thing, like when you watch him play, but he also has like a young Cleveland LeBron thing going right now where the way that he like is around his teammates and feeding them energy, like there's such a negative connotation with LeBron and his teammates now because of the subtweets and things like that. But like early Cleveland days, like you would look at the sideline, they'd be dancing and everybody was like, holy shit, it's so fun to play with LeBron. Like he had Karl Anthony Towns in a post game interview. They're sitting next to each other. Ant's in a fucking wife beater and an Atlanta Braves snapback, and it's just like tilted up. And he looks
Yeah.
hilarious. He looks like Wesley Snipes and White Men Can't Jump. And he says to Cat in front of everybody, he says to him, "You got to quit fucking fouling." And it's not like
Yeah.
you got to quit fucking fouling. You're an idiot. It's like you need to quit fouling because you are our best offensive player. Like when you're cooking, we're so much better. And it's the way that he says these things. I tell my kids all
Rudy,
the time,
dude.
it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And he has that down.
Yeah, you're right. And I'll tell you what too. Rudy and what's his name? Dude, they're a fucking problem down low. Like to joke it, all them, they could not figure anything out. They got a good. They're obviously Anthony Edwards, but they got a good little squad going in
They're not little
Minnesota.
though. They're
They're
fucking dogs. They've
or
been the
not
best
little,
defense in
but
the
yeah,
league the entire year because they're bigger than everybody. Like they are
yeah,
enormous. That's the problem Jokic is running into because they have Karl Anthony Towns guarding him, right? And then that gives Gobert
yeah.
the ability to
Cavs.
play free safety, fucking Ed Reed style on the baseline. Because where do they put Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Gordon? They put him in the dunker spot on either of the short corners, and he just sits there. So Gobert can just like sit there as a revolving door of blocks on the baseline. And if
Mm-hmm.
Jokic was bumping into Cat, which is hard because Cat is a big body, like he's not a. I think he's
Oh,
a
he's
softie
huge.
and he's an idiot, but like he's a big boy,
He's
right?
still a bit, yeah.
And Gobert can come over and block shots if he needs to. But then you have the three guys up top, like Jaden McDaniels in this game, 0 points, 0 for 7 from the field, but impacted it so well defensively. They were switching Jamal Murray, who has a strained calf right now, but they started out with Ant on him. And then about 4 or 5 minutes into the game, they're like, Jaden, it's your turn. And then Ant went over to MPJ or KCP, whoever it was, and guarded them
Mm-hmm.
instead. So they're just switching those two back and forth on Jamal, just giving him problems. And they're
Yeah, just give him
picking
different
them
looks.
up like 70 feet. You never see teams press in the NBA. They're not running a press necessarily, but they're like, you're not just going to walk the ball up the floor. We're going to
Yeah,
make it
and that
difficult on
just
you the entire way.
it gives you a headache the whole fucking way.
Yes,
Even if
headache,
you're right,
perfect.
even if it's not even if he's not up on your ass 70 feet down the floor, if there's a guy on you, it does linger. It's like, you walk 10 feet and there's already a guy, 3 feet from you. And yeah, I haven't really seen Denver because Denver's just been, I don't know, just the A class of the league the
Yes.
past, 2 or 3 years. And, they haven't, I don't want to say they haven't struggled that much, but they usually play pretty fluidly, pretty fundamentally, like just handling teams.
I mean,
And to see
this
them kind
game,
of lost a little bit, it was Yeah,
I, this
it was impressive.
No, you're totally right. Like this game was the first game this playoffs because they played the Lakers 5 times that they've had a lead at halftime. Right, the Lakers led at halftime of every single one of those games. They never blew the Lakers out. They always had to crawl their way back, and they would win it because they just have the Lakers figured out. They've ran into them a bunch of times. They haven't seen this Minnesota team. They played each other in the first round last year. The gentlemen swept them 4-1. But mind you, the Timberwolves didn't have Jaden McDaniels because in the play-in game, he was so fucking mad that he punched a wall and broke his hand. They didn't have Naz Reid because he was hurt. And those are two guys where, like I said, Jaden 0 for 7 in this game, but he had a plus 14 when it came to plus minus. He had a block. He had 8 rebounds. And Ant, to his credit, he's going to tell Jaden to keep shooting because he's grown a ton as an offensive player the last few years. That is not what Jaden McDaniels is going to be. We saw it in the Sun series. He can get you 20 points if he like really needs to. He just didn't need to this game because Ant was fucking miraculous. Like he was unbelievable. And then Naz Reid, you were like, who the fuck is this guy? You know who he is now. You know who he is now, dude.
I know,
he's
you're
big
like,
jelly is what he is.
Naz Reid.
16 points in 23 minutes. Oh, I love him.
Yeah, and they're playing together, man. They're almost like I kind of got that vibe when I watch like the Thunder because they're just these young kids playing together, having fun. And
First time here.
it sounds it sounds dumb, but fun does when you're playing, when you're playing with love instead of hate, you do play better. Like even LeBron used to say that he's like a lot of times in Miami I was just playing with hate, and like when I turned it to just playing with love again, everything just clicks. But you would want to play with a guy like Anthony Edwards. He's obviously one of the best, but he's also having fun. I would assume he's a good presence in the locker room. Like he's gonna
He's the
I feel like
best.
there's
It's
not.
obvious.
Yeah, and dude, even all like I watched again the clip today when he's on the funny Marco pod and he can't say his name right into the camera, and it's
Yeah.
like one of the funny. And there's just clip after clip of him like joking around, and he's got a good personality. But you can only do that if you're backing it with play. And when he's on the fucking when he's on the floor, there's no fun. There's no funny. It's killer like mentality, which is dude. You gotta love the guy. I don't know. It's insane.
It'll be really interesting to see what adjustments Denver makes in this series because right now, and for the foreseeable future of the series, they don't have anybody that can guard him. They're going to have to slow him down somehow. It's kind of like what happened with the Magic and the Cavs today, which we're going to talk about a little bit, where it's like you don't have a perfect matchup for Paolo Banchero because he's got 25 at half or whatever. But they're like, we're just going to keep a Coro on him, have him chase over every single screen, and try to get a hand in the face. And you can try that with KCP, with Aaron Gordon, with Peyton Watson, with Christian Brown, who are all very good defenders in their own rights. But when somebody's cooking like that, it's just going to be impossible to stop them. I mean, 43 points is ridiculous. Jokic, I expect him to make more of those bunnies. I mean, it's very rare that he doesn't shoot 60% from the field, and he was 44% from the field, 11 of 25. Still had 32, 8, and 9. That just speaks to how goddamn good Jokic is. It's like one of the worst games I've seen him play in the last 2 years, and he still had 32, 8, and 9. I mean, he's amazing. But they need more out of Jamal. Jamal didn't score in the first half, had 17 in the second half. And Mike Malone said after the game, he's like, you got to play 48 minutes against these guys because they are.
Yeah.
He said it in the press conference. He's like, there's a reason they were the number 1 seed for most of the season in the Western Conference. There's a reason they're the number 1 defense. And if there's anybody that can find an answer for this team, it is Denver because they have a supercomputer at center.
I think they'll figure it out. I think, I don't think any of us would be surprised if this goes 6, 7. Like, I think it will go, at least 6. And that's a win for everybody because you just know you're going to get great basketball it would almost be a shame if someone sweeps or gentleman sweeps. But, I tell you what, if Minnesota comes in hot again tomorrow and, wouldn't surprise, and steal another one, then I could see them sweeping. It's insane. They have so much momentum right now too. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like anything's slowing them down, and they know it too. They fucking know it.
Game 2 is tonight when people are listening to this. What do you think the line is?
It's a great question. Denver minus 3.5.
Denver by 5.5. Wolves are plus 194 money line. If Minnesota wins this game and they go back to Minnesota for 2 games, I'm not going to say the series is over. I'm not going to say it's over, but it very well could be. That's a very big hole to dig yourselves into because they just stole home court in game 1. Now it's even like the rest of the way. And the next, I mean, God, yeah, they did steal home court because they have 3 home games before Denver will have 3, including tomorrow or tonight. So yeah, it's interesting. All right, let's move into Cavs Magic Game 7 really quick. Happened today. Cavs end up outlasting the Magic. They looked like dog shit in the first half. So bad. Down 18, suffocating defense by the Magic. Paolo was unbelievable. I mean, he looks like the next superstar. Like Anthony Edwards, people are saying he's the next he is a superstar. He's earned that right. Like he's a superstar now. He beat KD in round 1 of the playoffs, and we just saw this performance on a Saturday night when it was the only game on that Saturday night. Paolo's the next one. He's coming. All right. He's 21 years old and he looks like he's fucking 35. He's amazing.
No, he's
Donovan Mitchell had 50 points in game 6, and then he answered that with 39 points in game 7. 89 points in back-to-back games. This Cavs team, I think they're going to give the Celtics a run for their money. I really do. I like the way they're built, and Donovan Mitchell might be the best player in that series? Question mark.
I hope they do. I hope they do. I was watching this game. We were streaming it before we started playing golf, and we were streaming it in the cart. And yeah, bro, we almost didn't watch like most of the second half because at halftime it looked like it was over, and it was they were playing great defense. They were up 18, and they were in Cleveland. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then we checked third quarter. It's a little bit closer, and then we checked, and then they blew them out. They like outscored them. I think it was like 63-40 or something the second half. Yeah, tip the cap to Donovan Mitchell. He's been bouncing around for a little bit. I mean, I've always been a fan of him, or like just kind of watched him play and thought he was, nasty. But I hope they give, Celtics again every year is almost their year. They're almost expected to win every year. So I can see them giving them trouble. But this, I mean, they're just loaded. I don't know. Like when it just comes man to man, I don't know. Cavs are gonna have to play out of their mind to somehow pull it off. But I hope it's close. I hope it's good ball.
I mean, we don't know how long Chris Stapps is going to be out, and that's huge for the Celtics, especially for a lineup with Mobley and Allen. So that'll be interesting to watch. But the Celtics
I feel like they're still more well-rounded, though.
Sure, 100%. But the Celtics are minus 1,600 favorites to win that series, which is you have to put $1,600 down to get 100 back. For the Magic, just really quick, I want to say this: they were the 5 seed this year, ahead of schedule. They will be back, and they'll be back sooner than later because they have a coming superstar in Paolo, and this team, much like the Timberwolves, hyper competitive. Like you saw Jalen Suggs after this game, and he's crying.
He's a dog.
Into Gogo Batazde's like chest, and it's like, oh, these motherfuckers want it. Like they wanted this game really bad, and they almost got it. And if they keep that core together, and they don't have any vets. Like their oldest player that plays is Joe Ingles. He's a really old vet, but he didn't give them anything in this
Ego
playoffs.
Shield family, Joe.
But it's like it's Thros Ingles, Blow Ingles. Wendell Carter Jr. is like their oldest player, and he's been in the league for 6 years. He's like Luka's age, so. I don't know, man. I'm really excited to see what Orlando does next.
I feel like the Cavs are also pretty young.
They are. Yeah, Jared Allen's their oldest starter, 7 years.
Yeah, we were talking about it before, but like, yeah, I'm watching these games, and I didn't watch too much regular season, but yeah, it's crazy to see, sometimes I don't know half the roster, especially Cavs Magic, to where like, the whole Celtics roster by heart. Like even if you're like a casual, you can't. I mean, I couldn't name every player.
Dog? You want to talk Sam Hauser?
Yeah,
Luke Cornett.
Is Peyton Pritchard still on the C's?
Oh yeah, dude, and he's playing. Like he was pretty good in that Heat series. Yeah, really? I love Peyton Pritchard.
Shout out for him. People say I looked like him when I had a buzz cut. I get that a lot. Pictures sent.
Not a bad comp. Good looking dude.
Yeah. I can't believe they pulled it, especially at home too. You got to give it to them. I'll ask you this: you think the Cavs wanted the Magic to win that series or Cleveland? I bet you they
I
wanted
think they,
Cleveland.
yeah, that's what some people are saying. I find that hard to believe. If I have the choice to go against Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley, or Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Jalen Suggs, I'm going to take Paulo, Franz, and Jalen. I'd rather play against them. I think they would have presented them
Yeah.
problems like their length and their defense and Jonathan Isaac, but I think Donovan Mitchell is just like, I mean, he could win them a game in this series. He could win them 2 games in the series by just going for 40 or
Yeah.
50.
He reminds me of Booker sometimes. Like a
Yeah.
guy that just has so much raw talent to where, because didn't Mitchell put up 60?
Yeah.
Or was
He might have a
was it
70-point
70?
game. I think he has a 70.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Mhm.
he has the just raw fucking talent. Yeah, you have to be more scared of that. Like
They're
then yeah, I
plus
guess a
820 to
team
win the
more spread
series.
out.
I don't hate it. It might be worth a little wager, a plus 820. All right, next series we'll
If the
stay in the East.
Celtics blow this again, like they're only gonna get so many shots
Yeah.
to seize
Yep.
until you gotta pay everybody and fall
I
apart.
mean, Jalen Brown's contract kicks in next year, and it's like 62 a year. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
bro,
cap's
that's
going up.
unbelievable. Like, yeah, dude. So yeah, I think they know that. Yeah, again, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. I'm more excited to see Knicks Pacers. I'll
All
say
right,
that.
Knicks Pacers, they
Perfect little
play
transition.
tonight too. When people are listening to this, to win the series, the Knicks are minus 265. The Pacers are plus 210. The Knicks still without Julius Randle. They escaped the 76ers.
Lyndon's got
The
to show you.
Pacers
You'll like
beat the
this, Ralph.
Bucks. What we got? Push it up a little bit.
Duke Final Four.
Love it. Hashtag Duke in the NBA. I don't think there's any Duke players in
Huh?
this series.
Oh,
Pacers,
that's your shirt, Ralph. That's your
Is it?
shirt, Ralph. Yeah, I know. We gotta have Lyndon. We're gonna give him. I'm gonna get him headphones and a phone to record with us because we can't do it side by side. But we'll have him in a separate room because Lyndon knows he's eating this up right now, sitting next to me.
He
Next
knows
one,
ball.
you're on. Yeah.
All right, so Knicks Pacers tonight in Madison Square Garden. Similar line to the Nuggets Wolves. It's -6. The Knicks are favored. I just wanted to throw this out there. I took a bet for the series. Tyrese Halliburton to score 15 plus points in every game of the series is plus 410. So if you don't want to bet on the series,
I saw that.
and you can't parlay that with the Knicks winning the series, which I wanted to do, but it's unavailable.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. I mean, yeah, now that's a weird one because it's almost like a teaser to where you're like, oh, there's no way this doesn't lose. And it's somehow like one game he just puts up 14 and you're just like, God damn it. Yeah, dude, we talked about it before, on fire. Season started, going to the All-Star break. He got hurt, right? Am I correct saying that? Got hurt, kind of fell off. Yeah, and then came to life again against the Bucks. And I'll say this, because I know we won't talk about the Bucks, but what a waste of
a Giannis season.
You build this team, you have all the you bring in the missing piece to supposedly finally beat the C's, to beat the Celtics and Dame, and for them to all now, and this is tough. I'm sitting here in a chair. I'm an actor and I'm a salesman and I'm, complaining about, I don't know how bad the injuries were. Okay. But I'll tell you what, Kobe, Anthony Edwards, Braun, Jordan, I don't know how bad the injuries were, but you gotta how could you let the season go through your fingers by sitting on the bench? And Giannis, when Giannis won a ring, didn't he have like a broken knee? Didn't he have a torn ACL like a week before? So I don't know, just to wrap the butt, just what a waste. But yeah, to see Halliburton come and Dame answers game 2 and then him finish the series, what a great series this is going to be. You got Brunson and the Villanova guys on fire. We talked about
Spike
Brunson
Lee.
looked like, it's playoff basketball is back in the Garden. Everybody's on fire. New York's buzzing. It's going to be such a and again, it's so cool to see the next wave of players that are going to take over this league because it's so obvious that the Curry, LeBron, the Durant, and we haven't had a shift like this in a while, bro. Like since I would say like 8-10 years, where like a whole wave of new guys came in and took over the league. But yeah,
And it's
dude,
not the guys you would expect. I think if you would have asked that question 3 years ago,
no,
you would have been
I
like
would have said Zion
Zion,
or something.
Ja
Yeah,
Morant, somebody like that. But it's like Anthony Edwards
yeah,
is like, fuck that. They don't got shit on me. And now it's Wembanyama. It's Jalen Brunson, a guy who was,
yeah.
Luka's wingman in Dallas. And he's like, I'm another one of these faces. And to your point, there's nothing better than Madison Square Garden playoff basketball. I've never
Oh,
had it in my life where it's like they actually have a chance to come out of the East. Because I think that this is a series they should win.
very
And
good
if
chance.
you're them, you have to be so fucking happy that Giannis sat out that series because it's like the Pacers. I like the Pacers. I don't love the Pacers. I love the Knicks. I think the Knicks win this in 5, maybe 6, but probably 5. It could be 4, and then they're rested against Boston if Boston beats Cleveland, and then that's the series that I'm looking forward to. Is Tatum under the bright lights and all that stuff.
And just the New York Boston rivalry that we haven't had in. I mean, the last time the Knicks played the Celtics in the playoffs, it's got to be 20, 30 years. It's got to be insane.
Yeah.
I would love that. Would be. I mean, if everything goes correctly, that should be the East, which would just be amazing to watch. But
Holy shit!
yeah, I didn't even what.
I like to look at like who they think the top point scorer is going to be for these series because it's usually like 2 or 3 guys.
I thought you were going to say Kendrick just dropped.
Oh,
I thought you were
no.
going to be like, I'm still in that mode.
PTSD.
I'm like, what'd he say? What'd he say?
Oh no. Yeah, I've been listening to him the last 6 minutes. Brunson is the projected top point scorer. Just take a guess at what you think the line is for him to be the top point scorer of the series. Just a guess.
I mean, that's a pretty bold. I would say, is it minus money?
Minus. Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say minus 110.
It's minus
Is it
2,300. It's minus. The second best odds are Pascal Siakam at plus 1,300. I don't hate that. I'm not wishing any ill will on Jalen Brunson, but if he gets hurt or something like that, and it's like Siakam's like the obvious favorite, right? Halliburton's plus 2,400.
See that's
That's
almost
not bad.
because Halliburton's going to carry his team more than I think Brunson has to, and you would say, I mean, I thought minus 10, and that's going to be a long series. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. He should be the leading scorer every game, but that's insane that it's minus that much money. That actually blows my mind. I would never
40.
take that. I feel like that'd be but
minus
there's a lot of basketball there. Yeah, I would much rather throw $20 on Halliburton at plus 20. What is he? What'd you say? Plus 2,300?
Yeah.
That's for Brunson to be minus that much and Halliburton to be that's insane. I thought Halliburton would then be like minus 2,000 or something. That's fucking nuts.
I like that
he's been on fire though. We talked about it before. It's he looked like I mean, bro, he was carrying the Knicks when he dropped. I think it was 50 or 50, whatever.
He's so good.
I mean, yeah, dude, he looked like top 5 player in the league, dude. And it's so funny because you look at him and you really don't expect him to doesn't have the stature, doesn't have the the size,
the athleticism, the mobility. I mean, he's just a perfect player for me specifically because I can't teach.
Like he's a Knick through and through.
Yeah, for sure. I can't teach my kids how to dunk like LeBron or how to have that level of vision because those are unteachable things. But I can teach them the things that Jalen Brunson does. I can teach them low sweeps versus high. I can teach them when to play off 2 versus go off 1. I can teach them how to not foul bait, but how to put a defender in jail off of a pick and roll. And he does all of these things so fundamentally perfectly. He's so fun to watch.
Yep.
All right, we have one last series that we need to talk about. Mavs Thunder. I can't wait for this one, Cerroni.
Yeah,
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Kyrie Irving, the battle of the smooth. Lou Dort guarding Luka Doncic, the battle of the lose. That's a bar right there. This is going to be so fucking fun.
Before you say who's favored, I think the Mavs take this.
Okay.
Not game 1. I think I don't know if that's a dumb take, but I think
they have the best player in the series. Luka's, I think, a better basketball player than Shai still. But you can make
And
an
I and I
argument that Shea is better because of that quote unquote concept of a two-way player. Shea's better at defense, but what Luka can do offensively is just, I think, honestly, second to none other than Jokic. Do you want to guess the series line?
I want to say, I mean,
It's tight.
it's Thunder's, yes, but Thunder's favored, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Maybe like Thunder minus 200.
Minus 120. Dallas minus 102.
Yeah, so they know it's gonna be close. So I think finally, uh, Luca and Kyrie have figured this whole thing out. Kyrie goes to Dallas. How did their season end last year?
Dallas' season end last year.
Yeah.
They tanked so they wouldn't be in the play-in game, so that way they could get a higher draft pick. They traded for Kyrie Irving at the deadline, and then they didn't even make the playoffs last year. The year before that, they
Okay.
lost in the Western Conference Finals to the Golden State Warriors.
But they didn't have Kyrie.
Didn't have Kyrie. They had Brunson, and then
Yeah.
Brunson went and signed with the Knicks, and then they traded for Kyrie. They traded like Dorian Finney-Smith and a bunch of like picks,
Yeah.
stuff like that to go get Kyrie. And then with that draft pick that they got, they selected Derek Lively, who is a rotational center from Duke. Hashtag Duke in the NBA. Now we can use Lyndon.
Yep. I think from what I watched of Dallas last year, when Kyrie was in, like you saw it, like so much potential, but just not like they just couldn't. You got to figure it out in the NBA. Like, and same with NFL, you got to get chemistry. You got to figure out. You got to just understand what's going on, and to watch them two. Yeah, I think two of the rawest talents. Like we we're just talking about raw talent with Donovan Mitchell. If they can figure it out, man, like they're playing what they're playing like what we thought they would play like when they got Kyrie last year, and it's fucking beautiful to watch. Luca is always, I think Luca is one of my behind Ant favorite player to watch. It's always some crazy shot or some crazy thing or pass and he's having fun with it. He's laughing. Luke is there's always clips of him laughing in the middle of the game. Like, he's just so fucking
I don't
good.
know if I see those as much. I think he's more pissing and moaning a lot. He's definitely got some Caitlin Clark to him where it's like he'll be laughing if they're up 30 or something like that, like fucking around on the bench. But like when he, makes it 3, it's more like he does this very European thing where he just like blends a bunch of cuss words together and it's so obvious on his lips after he scores.
What he's
saying. It's just him saying, he'll just be like, bitch, motherfucking bitch, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, who are you
He's
talking?
like a little
Are you
kid.
talking to everybody? Are you talking to the refs? Are you talking to the fans? Are you talking to the players?
Talking to
It's
me?
just like, yeah. Are you looking like he's looking in the camera sometimes? So, I mean, that duo, he said it earlier this series, like Kyrie's Batman and I'm Robin. I don't buy that, but I think they're both Batman, and it'll be interesting to see who can be the second Batman for OKC because it's been Jalen Williams all year. What kind of series does he have?
Yeah, he's a dog.
Who does Luka guard? Like, I'm curious who they put Luka and Kyrie on in the series. It's like, is one guarding Giddey, one's guarding Dort, and then they put Derek Jones on Shea, and maybe Chet guarding one of the
Kyrie
bigs.
would want Shea. I feel like, or maybe not. I don't know. It depends.
Kyrie played really good defense in the Clippers series. He was great defensively.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
he held opponents
want
like
Shea.
2 for 11 from the field in the last game or something like that. Like he was really solid. So I don't know if he has the energy to keep up with Shea, and also whoever you put on Shea is probably going to end up with 4 fouls like by the end of the third quarter. So that's a risky decision there. But yeah, I'm honestly excited to see the coaching decisions in this. This is a basketball nerd's dream. It's like heliocentric model series of Luka and Kyrie dominating the ball, making every decision versus the Thunder. And if you haven't watched the Thunder, like they have the most drives or paint touches in the league per game. They have like 62 paint touch drives per game, which is like 10 more than the second most team. So they're just constantly driving and kicking because all 5 of their guys can handle, pass, and shoot. So I'm so excited. I can't wait for
I was going to say, watching the Thunder play, it's just like one big fast break.
Yes.
And they also spread out. I noticed with them too is they spread out. Yeah, even when they run up the floor after the other team scores, they run up the floor and they're just there's so much space. Wide. They spread it out every time. It's crazy. And yeah, one of them just cut and it's just, it's like one big fast break. And they can do that again because they're all 22 years old. they're all from not even, I don't even, like 21 to 23 years old.
Shay's their oldest
So
starter.
they got fresh legs.
He's
Yeah, how old
24
is
years
he?
old. He's their oldest
Fucking,
starter. 24, 25.
yeah. Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, I think a little bit of experience might get him here. And I think it's so beautiful to see Kyrie still do Kyrie things, man. The layups, the glass angles, it's like, not that you forgot or thought he lost it, but there was a little while where, it wasn't great on Brooklyn, and, he's in and out,
A
and he's kind of
little
the COVID
while.
thing and
It was
all the
6 years.
yeah,
It's been
yeah, or
years
six
since he's
years.
had a. It's been forever. It's been half decade since
He,
he's been normal Kyrie for an entire season, and now he's doing like these things where he's still like he's so inspirational because like he's doing new moves. Like it's insane. He does this thing called a runaway dribble now. I used to call it an escape dribble that I just don't see that often. Where to get his shot over bigger defenders, and most defenders are bigger than him because he's only 6'1", 6'2". He does this thing called a runaway dribble where he essentially pushes it out in front of him, like while he's handling to another spot, like a different location, and then he pulls
like a
up
catch
right
and
off of the
shoot.
dribble. It's a pass to himself to a certain degree, and it's amazing. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Nobody else does this. He's so good.
Yeah, dude, he's one of the most excited when he's doing shit like that. It's one of the most exciting players to watch. And then,
It's
yeah,
art.
dude, with Luca, literally, I love those. I don't know what account makes them, but the slow-mos of those shots,
Yeah.
with it's like classical music or like some
Yep.
like, oh, dude,
R&B. It's like Erykah
yeah.
Badu or like old
Yeah,
Drake. Yeah.
it was the first time someone did it was the game winner against
Yep.
Houston, game 6. And it's like, and the caption was just like basketball is poetry.
Yep.
And yeah, the shit that he fucking does, I think they're buzzing right now. I
Oh, you're
think
talking about the
I,
old Dame game winner, like the one over Chandler Parsons against the Rockets, like that
yes,
OG-esque one. Yeah.
yeah, in
Yeah. Yeah.
game
Yeah.
6 where yeah. And it was just, and he does like the Dame where he just no celebration, almost like the D Rose, like where he just gets lifted up and no celly, and he does, yeah, it's just beautiful, beautiful. And they did that with Kyrie's layup, in that crazy layup he had in the past series. But I don't know, another series where, yeah, it could go. I mean, I think the whole world wants us to go 7 games, just
Please.
purely out of the fact that you have more basketball to watch than if it's, quicker. But yeah, it's gonna be a fucking, yeah. I have no idea, man. They're just, yeah. I think they might be a little bit too young. Kyrie's such a vet when it comes to. I mean, Kyrie's been there, done it. I mean, what, multiple times. Yeah, it's
Styles
gonna
make
be
fights too. Two totally different
nuts.
styles contradicting each other. Two totally different
Yeah.
generations. So that'll be really fun. All right, before we get out of here, the roast of Tom Brady was tonight. We don't have enough time to break it all down. It was like 3 hours long, hosted by Kevin Hart on Netflix's live platform. So just on Netflix, you can tune in, watch it live. You can go back and watch it. I thought it was really entertaining, but I want you to think on this. Give me 2 people that you would like to see this style of roast for. Okay, because roasts have been pretty much extinct the last like 7 or 8 years. They used to be really popular on Comedy Central. Now Netflix is taking them, and they obviously have a huge platform.
Love
And
roast. Yeah.
they got the biggest celebrities to come out on this thing. They got Belichick to come out as a surprise, who maybe isn't a
Mm-hmm.
celebrity like in normal life, but everybody knew him in this venue because of the Brady beef. They got Peyton Manning to come out, so a football guy. But then they also got Ben Affleck to come out as a special guest. They got Will Ferrell to come out as Ron Burgundy as a special guest, and he's just
I know.
doing Ron Burgundy for the roast.
It's
And then you have
awesome.
all
It's
these
awesome.
comedians and all these players. So give me 2 people in the back of your mind. The first one that I want is Leo. I want to see Leo on this stage. He'll never do it.
Great pick.
It would never happen. He has too much pride, but I would love to see, like, because Brady essentially had the Patriots on one side and all of his teammates, Gronk, Edelman, Drew Bledsoe, and then he had the stand-ups on the other side. So, like, Burt Kreischer, Tom Segura, Andrew Schultz, Nikki Glazer, Jeff Ross, like the roast master.
Yeah.
So that's how they're going to kind of do it. And then when you go to the stands, like Kim Kardashian was a special guest presenter tonight. They would show Gillis in the crowd and all these people in the crowd, Dana White,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think Leo would be great for this, just to get absolutely assaulted by all of his homies.
It's funny you said, because and I want to say, first of all, too, I'm a huge fan of the roasts. Were the best, man.
They're
when the
hilarious.
world kind of got
Bieber.
softer, and bro, some of the funniest shit, because I kind of grew up, my dad was a big roast guy, and so I'd watch these things like in high school and just be and I wouldn't even really know the jokes they were saying because they're like roasting people I wasn't even really like, but just to hear him howling, laughing, and I was cracking up. It's actually funny too. I knocked on Jeff Ross's door yesterday. I know where that guy lives. I almost sold him. But like he was such a legend.
Yep.
Anyways, and it's funny you say Leo because the
Still
first
is, yeah.
person that came, yeah, and just the goat roaster. But the first person that came to mind because you want a guy that just has almost had it all. It's funny you say Leo because I was going to say right away Brad Pitt. I think would be, and I think he might be, because and like the thing is, I was driving in the car with my boy Devontae, and he was like, why do you think Brady did this? Like, why do you think he agreed to this? Like, he has all the money, all the fame, he has everything. I was like, he's like, he doesn't need, I was like, bro, but it's so like, it's such a good look to get roasted. It's because everybody loves, the self-sabotage, the funny, the comedy. Everybody loves the man in the arena, the guy to step up and say, fuck it, give me shit on me for the next 3 hours. And it's not going to be, I mean, yeah, the world's gotten softer, but it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be
Yep.
all these,
Oh no, it was
tongue-in-cheek jokes. It's
nasty.
going to
Yeah.
be, yeah, it's going to dig into you. But you got to respect that. People like he gained even more respect, even after the 7 rings. Yeah, I would do Brad Pitt. I think he would be humble enough to do it. He has a lot of funny interviews, a lot of like jokes here and there, to whereas Leo doesn't, where he's very,
He's so
prideful and
closed
he's
off.
talking about
And
global
that's why I
warming
said
and
him because
yeah,
like I think Brady's kind of like the Leo sports where like he's not enigmatic, but like he's kind of closed off. Like he in his press conference interviews, like I don't know what his personality's like. I don't know what he's like as a dude. And maybe he's so manicured that maybe he isn't like a normal dude. But he showed that side of himself tonight, which is fucking
yeah.
awesome. Because then you have Belichick coming out and showing his personality. And it's like
I
I've
was
been
gonna say that's
watching
why
these
you
guys
do it.
for
It's a
22
win
years.
overall. Yeah,
But I think it's also kind of like Jordan Last Dancey thing, where like Jordan dropped Last Dance during Corona, like when nobody had anything to watch, and it's just like a reminder of like it was like right around when he knew LeBron was going to win another title. He's like, I just want to remind people who the real GOAT is. And I think that's kind of what
yeah.
Brady's doing with Mahomes, where it's like, hey, I might be retired, but
That's a
do
good
not forget
take.
about me. I'm going to be on Fox here in a couple of months, like announcing games. I just want you guys to
Yeah,
remember because the whole night was just like, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT at the end of the roasts or whatever. And it's like, yeah, he is. And, there's this
yeah.
whole Mahomes thing where there's a movement for him. Like, is he a better football player, whatever? So I thought
He
that was
beat Mahomes in
interesting
the
too.
Super Bowl, which he'll always have too.
He'll always have
In
that over
Mahomes
him.
class act for even him. I watched an interview where they're like, do you put yourself over Tom Brady? And he was like, no, man, he beat me in a Super Bowl. Like I'll
Yeah,
never have, and we'll never obviously see it. But um, yeah, I think Brad Pitt might.
that's a really good one. Because you'd get
Yeah, I
like
think he would be
Angelina
way.
jokes, you would get like 30 years of jokes, and then also just
Oh
like
man, Jennifer
the
Aniston, Joe, you get the
yeah.
adopted kid. Yeah, I think that would be great. Um, I'm trying to think
I
of
think I would
other,
like to see
maybe
a
Tiger Woods.
Tiger would be fucking amazing. That
That
would
would
be
be,
so good.
and
Because at the end of the
that would
night,
be
they get to go
awesome.
up and tell their jokes against everybody else.
Ex-
And Brady did a great job
exactly.
with that. And Tigers would be so fucking priceless. I was thinking like, because like, we're mentioning A-list celebrities. I think Taylor Swift would be a great candidate because it's just like,
Oh,
can
that,
she take it? Like, would she? Like, I
yeah.
watched like these clips of like her almost crying on Ellen when Ellen was making fun of her boyfriends, and it's just like, Jesus, like, relax.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I
just
don't,
a joke.
if she did it though, if you go on there and you take it and you give and take the right way, you gain so like if she went and volunteered for that and did
She
it in
wins
an
over me.
excellent way, and oh dude, you win over everyone. It almost
Yep.
everybody almost forgets about all the bullshit. If she goes up there and takes all the bad jokes, laughs, and then just one by one picks apart, just like throwing some. And the thing is with that shit too is you don't even like Tom Brady didn't write those. He had some guy,
Yeah.
he had Shane Gillis write them or some other.
Yeah.
You're not even, they're giving them to you on a silver platter because you don't know the inside outs of all those other people. So she'd have to just go there and really just Oh my God, she'd rule the world. She'd win over everybody. That's a great pick.
Yeah.
That's money.
All right. Well, it's been a great episode. We covered beef, we covered basketball, and we covered roasts. So contentious episode. Thank you everybody for listening. We love you. Enjoy the games tonight. Knicks, Pacers, Nuggets, Timberwolves. Tomorrow night will be Mavs, Thunder, I believe, and then Cavs, Magic play Wednesday. So make sure you're watching basketball. We'll be back talking about it later this week. For the meantime, for Mike Cerroni, I'm Ralph Compiano. It's on the Pop Off Pod. We will see you on the other side. Peace out.
I'm loving the pop off.